joins us today, and he's the co-founder and CEO of ArcSecond. And we'll get to what ArcSecond means in a moment. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
Please explain to everyone here watching what it is you guys are doing, and it's not as complicated as it may sound, right?
Hopefully so. ArcSecond is on a mission to bring very visceral experiences that are not possible otherwise in healthcare, entertainment, gaming, and so on. What we're trying to do is to bring motion capture accessible to every single person, which otherwise is restricted for motion capture studios and so on and so forth. We do it by disrupting it by not using optical methods to understand your motion. We do it with inertial sensors that we have developed that you can actually put on yourself and then transform your motion to a virtual setting and then interact with it.
So to give you an example, there's someone with a stiff arm. You put sensors on that person's body, and then that person can move his arm, and virtually there's a replica. There's a virtual replica of that person's movement. And then the doctor can say, okay, this is the movement, and it's not quite right, so I need to adjust the arm a little bit here and a little bit there. So basically you have a physical problem, but you're solving it virtually.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yeah, one of the biggest problems...
I should do your marketing.
One of the biggest problems with physical therapy and rehabilitation is it's very difficult to understand objectively and accurately range of motion of joints as well as a system of joints in your body. And so physicians have a huge problem in understanding how your progress is during therapy. On top of that, patients are completely disengaged with therapy and are often frustrated that it's taking so long. The crux of the problem is to actually translate and take the problem from the physical side to a virtual side where you can inspect it more accurately. That's what we have done, and we have brought that element of disruption with our technology. So you're right, if you want to understand how your elbow is doing, you put on our sensors on the elbow, and instantly, wirelessly, your motion is transformed to a virtual setting that the physician can inspect and measure to a very high degree of accuracy as to what your situation is.
Who else can use your technology, not just patients with a stiff arm, obviously?
For sports medicine, athletes can understand how a single degree of improvement of their motion for a particular joint can impact their performance. And so this has to be done in an outdoor setting, and that's where motion capture as a science has not done a good job. We are trying to bring that level of experience in a box. So sports physiotherapists can carry it around with them outdoors, and instantly with the smartphone, with the sensors on, and these go on and go off very easily. With the smartphone, you can actually describe their virtual abilities and understand how they're performing, and according to that, prescribe certain therapy that might improve their performance.
You also sell your product to the gaming industry, don't you?
I think gaming, entertainment, education is a huge opportunity for us, because now you can interact yourself without having to buy gadgets that are selling you short in terms of an experience. For example, if you're playing a game and if you want to describe your physical motion, you may have to hold a gadget. Now we are making yourself to be the gadget. How natural can that be? And that's where we think the world is headed, is that...
So through your arm movement, you're drawing pictures into the air.
You're drawing pictures in thin air. You're writing things in thin air without having to hold a pen. I think that's the level of natural interaction that we should be doing in the first place. We are being sold short by all of these gadgets that exist today from all the big players. Why? Because they're not disruptively analyzing the problem. We are trying to see how natural user experience can be, and for that, your body is the natural user experience there is, and why not build the experience as part of that?
In Dubai, who is your client?
The Dubai Healthcare Authority is our client. We've been exposed to them through the Dubai Future Accelerators program, of which we are a part, and the Dubai Healthcare Authority has a huge ambition to bring 10 times X the experience that exists between patients and physicians, and we fit in right there, because for physiotherapists and patients, our experience is that with our solution, positive outcomes can be brought very quickly, and patients and physicians can engage much better with our solution.
You came all the way from San Diego.
That's right.
From the United States. Is it easier to do business here, or why did you make your way from the other end of the world to come all the way to Dubai?
You know, at some level, entrepreneurs become very comfortable where they are. And I'm a surfer. When I go surfing, I come back to the shore again and again, only because if you don't do so, you don't know where the best waves are. So as an entrepreneur, it's my duty to understand where those fertile grounds are, where we can make a huge impact. And serendipitously, it so happened that we are here in Dubai, but we are here to hustle and make our point very strong that this market is where there is an adoption of technology at a faster pace that you can imagine. The fact that Dubai is at the crossroads of the world and that its spirit is so dynamic that it reminds me of the sand dunes here. It keeps changing, and that's the way it should be. You should not be restricted to what exists today, but what's possible in the future. And our job as entrepreneurs, as technologists, is to bring that future closer to anybody. And so Dubai is probably a very good fit for us right now.
You're a very successful man. You worked for Qualcomm for 10 years and developed chips that are in basically nearly every mobile phone in the world. So your phone, my phone, your phone, everyone will be carrying that chip, and you made that technology possible. So yeah. Why did you leave that successful job and then venture on your own?
Well, at every person's entrepreneurial journey, there are pivotal points. For me, being in Qualcomm and developing mobile solutions, I was a small part of that huge success, was very pivotal for me as a learning experience. But then for me to do it all by myself was the next thrill that I was seeking in my life. And when you actually take the leap of faith, magical things happen. So I had to do that. I had to prove to myself that I can get out of that comfort zone and make meaningful things. So ArcSecond is not my first startup. I've failed twice before. So again, things don't happen instantly, but I persevered and took all of that learning that Qualcomm gave me, for which I'm so grateful for, and now I'm bringing it to the rest of the world through ArcSecond, and hopefully will be at least partly successful as Qualcomm has been in bringing mobile, which is the biggest experience technology or a foundation there is in the entire world today.
Nathan, thank you so much for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
ArcSecond. Oh, before you go, what is ArcSecond?
ArcSecond is actually a metric that is used to describe a very fine measure of angular displacement, something that is much, much smaller than 1 single degree. And so we pride ourselves to being very, very accurate, and ArcSecond was the smallest degree of that we could expose ourselves to be in.
And that's why you made it the company's name. All the best to you, Nathan.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. All right.